How you going? Stayer Off Grid here. So today I'm going to install my new generator to the solar system. With having all this rain that we've had sometimes 4 or 5 days of rain, and although the battery of my solar system charges up during, even when it's raining, because there's still a bit of sunlight coming through, so even on cloudy days you still get a bit of charge, but not much. If you had more panels you'd get more charge, obviously, but what I need is a generator with a 2-wire system, so that's a 2-wire connection to the solar system. So if the battery goes to 20% or below, or whatever you set it at, then the solar system turns the generator on via that 2-wire system. So I've got this one, which is a max watt petrol generator, 9 kVA. It's actually about 7,000 watts. It's got two 15 outlets. Each one of them is 3,500 watts. I'll be running both of them in parallel, connected in the solar system in parallel. It cost me $2,179 with postage. It's big and heavy, but it'll do the job. I'm sure the more expensive ones, most of them I looked at were up $4,000 and over, but they're probably smaller and quieter. But I've thought about where I'm going to put it. At first I thought I'd go put it over there behind that tank, so it's the furthest point away there, and the tank could sort of suppress the noise. But now I've just thought I want to keep it undercover. I'm going to put it under here, which is on the other side of that is the battery and the solar system. There is an eave there, and I'm also going to make a little box for it. So alright, so I've got this conduit here running in. There's 2 cables inside this, as you'll see in a minute, going into the solar system. It's just coming across here, cable tied on, and then I've got 2 leads here, which will have 2 plugs on, and will go into the generator there. So just a little bit more to do, and then I'll be back to show you. So now with those up there, you can just pull the generator out. I'm going to cut these 2 cables to length and wire them first, and then I'll pull it out. I've just remembered I've got to run another cable. Will I get it through the same conduit? I don't think so. No, I won't. So I'll have to run another conduit because I've got to run the 2-wire starter. Alright, I forgot about that. Back to the drawing board. No big deal, I just got to run a parallel conduit. I've got some of this switch wire. I don't think I'm going to get it in the conduit. I don't have building wire, but what I may do is just strip some of this and try and get it through that conduit. I don't glue the conduits. It's not water pipe, it's not under pressure. When you put them in there, it's and twisted, it's a solid connection anyway. So, and that also is for a reason that if you do have to do something, change it, then it's a lot easier pulling it apart than if you glue it. You have to cut it and redo it and restart, basically. Alright, so I've taken the conduit off the wall and opened it up like this, so that's about the best chance I'm going to get of trying to get this extra switch wire in. But I don't like my chances of the TPS, which is the white stuff over here. I may have to strip it, so we'll see what happens. Alright, well I got that extra switch wire in there. No problem. The hardest part, I thought the corners were going to be hard, but the hardest part was the long length here because it's got the most friction, but it come through, so no problem. Now I've just got to put all the conduit together again and put it back on the wall. Alright, so the conduit's back on there, going across, coming down here and out there, so now it'll have the plugs put on and connect that little connector there for the 2-wire control. Alright, get back to it. Alright, so we have the 2 outlets wired up now. Alright, so I have the 2 cables connected to the, or they will be connected to the solar inverter, the Victron Energy solar inverter. The reason I've got 2 is that you get 3,500 watts out of each one, and I'm putting them in parallel, so they will connect together at the board and give me 7,000 watts, which will charge the battery much quicker. Alright, so that's the 2-wire switch now. It's a soldered connection, and I forgot to put the back of the fitting on it which screws on, but it's not going anywhere. I've taped it there. My little gas soldering iron conked out and I ran out of gas. So also it's not the greatest soldering iron, it doesn't get hot enough. I'll have to find my 240 soldering iron and fix that up at another time, but for the moment it's fine. I've charged that battery. So this charger here, what I might do is actually have that connected all the time, and I'll have it just on a switch where once a week you just hit it to charge for a little bit, or the other thing is to have it on a timer so that it comes on and charges like once a week or something, because the last thing you want is when the battery lowers down and this is supposed to come on by the little switch there, and if the battery's dead it won't come on. So that I've got to sort out. I'm going to definitely put that charger on it all the time permanently. Okay, so I've just wired the inside of this solar system, the generator, into the solar panel, or the inverter charger. So this is the Victron Quattro 48 volt 8000 volt amp 110 amp, and this here is AC in 2. So in parallel, both of these two cables are connected. You see 2 red wires there, 2 black wires there, and 2 earths. So that's the cables that are going to the generator. There's also this white cable here which is going to the K1 contactor or relay, I think it is, normally open in the common. So it's normally open. When it closes it'll power on the generator. The generator will start up and we'll be getting power in through these cables in parallel, 3500 watts each, 7000 watts total to charge the battery nice and quickly. Now I'm going to this here which is VE config. Go to port selection, COM port. That's this thing here. It's connected to the computer here, and it's also connected by what color cable? White cable. So it's connected to this battery monitoring system as well. That's where it connects in, and this is connected to that, and then that is connected to this, right? So what I'm talking to is this or this, basically. So I want to go to assistance. Alright, so the generator's not starting off automatic, so I'm thinking that I will go and check for voltage at the relay, but first I'm going to fix this switch because it's supposed to be screwed on there, and maybe just sitting there, it feels fine, but maybe it's not given a good enough. That's loose too. To see what the story with that is. Okay, so I've got the electric soldering iron out here, and I've fixed this connection so that now it's oops, sun's there. Now it's got its little screw cap on it, so it's in there solidly. It's a shitty connection I made, but I just taped that over. It'll be fine. I do have to today put foam in behind this whole rack. Alright, so I'm at 22% now. It's about 10 o'clock and I'm getting 1600 watts, so it's going to charge no problem today. I fixed the problem, well, I found the problem of why the generator wouldn't turn on by itself. So I've used K1 relay in there, and I was in auxiliary 2. It doesn't matter what you use. It wasn't anything to do with the programming on the computer, the laptop. It was my stupidity of not knowing the generator very well. So there was a switch here, 2-wire control switch, on or off. I had it off. I didn't know that. I didn't see that switch. I don't read manuals. Anyway, it's on now and it works. Comes on, turns off, not a problem. Now, what is the problem? The reason I've got this lifted up here is that having that down like that, and even without this front rubber bit down on it, there was way too much heat coming out of here. In fact, there's still heat coming out of there after it's been running. So back to the drawing board. I'm not going to have any sides on it. I'll just have the top cover and then that's it. Alright, so I've fixed up that generator, less enclosed now. It's opened on two sides and I'm just going to start it inside to see how loud it is. So, remote. Well, it's pretty loud, but it's never going to have to run for too long. So, it was fairly loud, but it's only ever going to come on early in the morning when you're waking up anyway. So, I'd rather it wake me up to see what's going on so I can check everything and just monitor it and than not. But the only other alternative is to move it away. But I'm not going to bother with it. It's rarely ever going to come on, so I'm happy with that. I don't think it's a problem. Alright, so this is the revised design with this end open, this end open, and this end closed to keep the sun off it. So, alright, I hope you enjoyed that video. It's a bit of a learning curve for me, and it was just going to be, that thing had a chance of catching fire if I didn't open the ends, so I'm happy with it. That's it. I'm Stay Off Grid. Please like and subscribe.